I get YouTube comments a lot, and I'm attempting to answer them and connect these videos to their comments in question. And this one I find particularly interesting because I'm like, part of me is just like, are you lost, bro? Are you okay? But also, I think you were missing the point of what I was saying. I wasn't necessarily saying that, smut is high art in and of itself. What I was saying was that art that is generally marketed towards women is seen as lowbrow or seen as stupid or seen as trite before a man gets his hands on it. And at that point, it's considered art. It's considered okay. Star Trek is a really good example of this. Now we're about to get a Star Trek set for Magic the Gathering, and that would not have happened if men had not decided that Star Trek was an interesting, worthwhile pursuit for them to jump into. If Star Trek had been a thing that only women liked, we would not be getting Star Trek cards in October or November or whenever the fuck that UB set is coming out. To my recollection, Shakespeare was kind of seen as like lowbrow, crass art, and now we treat it as the pinnacle of theater. It depends on whether society sees it as a highbrow thing. I don't necessarily want my smut to be considered high art, and some of that shit is not high art at all. What I want is for art that is made by women or marketed towards women to be given the same, avenues for analysis and the room to be flawed that men's art does. Because if you really think about it, men are allowed to suck on a large platform in a way that women are never allowed to suck. Think about like male versus female music stars. Men are not necessarily given like the Kia asylum treatment or treated like they're not relevant if they have a little misstep in public. Whereas someone like Chappell Roan is getting excoriated in the media because a man made a little girl cry that she didn't even see. I have seen more condemnations for Chappell Roan's not behavior because Chappell Roan didn't do anything. I've seen more condemnations for her than I've seen for fucking Kanye. And Kanye's music sucks now. So yeah, no, I'm not telling myself anything to make myself feel better or anything. I know romance has been around forever, and not all of it is high art or even good, but the stuff that is good should be treated like it's good. It shouldn't necessarily be dismissed because of its genre. And it certainly shouldn't be dismissed because women made it or it's marketed towards women. And at the end of the day, this only really comes up when talking about media marketed towards women. Like, think about, like, the One Direction thing, where everyone was like, oh, no, like, that's not real music. Meanwhile, all of those guys, when they ended up breaking up and they ended up going off and doing their solo careers, Harry Styles is, like, the biggest pop star alive right now. And I think it's because men like his music now. And because men like his music now Harry Styles is worthwhile. So no, it's not about wanting smut or like porny things to be considered high art, because you're mentioning Hustler, and Hustler is not the same thing as something like Akatar or something that has on-page sex in it. Like, Hustler is just not the same. What I want is for art made for women or art made by women to get the same due that art made by men and art marketed for men does.